Hey guys, I'm so happy to be back. My goodness gracious, the time has finally come for us to pay our respects to Lara. The memorial service is held today by Winston and he has invited a couple of guests, myself included. So guys, what are we about to start today? You probably knew this is coming. We are gonna do an entire Let's Play series of Tomb Raider 5 Remastered in the similar way in how we did all other entries before. Now, if you're new to the channel, what I tend to do, I like to think of myself as a completionist. That means 100%ing games. And what that means here is getting all secrets, all pickups, landing all kills, which is often overlooked, and also breaking all breakable objects, which is my own custom statistic I'm gonna keep a track of just for fun and pleasure, essentially. So anyway guys, that's what's happening, and I really consider Tomb Raider 5 Chronicles a guilty pleasure of mine. I mentioned this a couple of times. Why is that? If I love it so much, why guilty? And that's for one simple reason. It's a very short game and it doesn't really feel like its own entry. In fact, I would call Tomb Raider 5 Chronicles an excellent expansion to Tomb Raider 4, but the problem is, back in the day when it was released, it was sold as a full-fledged entry and charged full price, which is outrageous when I look back at it. But nowadays that it's packaged like this, it's a little less outrageous, and I think we are able to enjoy these levels for what they actually are. So anywho guys, I absolutely love them, and make it no secret, and this game reminds me a lot of my most favorite Tomb Raider 2 in many ways that I'm gonna touch on as we progress. Now, in terms of me being a completionist and keeping the highest statistics possible, I do have some bad news. Just like in Tomb Raider 4, The Last Revelation Remastered, the kills count is completely messed up in Chronicles. I'm gonna give you one major example of why that is. Tomb Raider 5 introduced headshots. You hit certain enemies in the face, they die instantly. Unfortunately, this according to the game does not count as a kill. You need to deplete their health bars in order for the hit to be registered. So with some enemies we're gonna take a more difficult approach, and I'm still gonna show you it's possible. And with some enemies who are only headshotable, the game will not keep track of the kills for you. I'm gonna sort of show you the final proper look at the final stat screen once we beat the game on normal difficulty. So that's one thing I wanted to talk about, but don't worry about driving over enemies. There are essentially no vehicles in this game, outside of a extreme depth environment suit, but later about that. Also, the bad news continue because it was my ambition to really play through the whole game without using a single medpack. However, that is not possible due to one level called Escape with the Iris. Now it is possible, don't get me wrong, but not if you want to get your hands on every single pickup. You are in fact required to sacrifice large quantities of your health bar or even multiples of your health bar to get every single pickup. That's the way the levels were designed. So I'm gonna just say it outright now. Up until Escape with the Iris, we're gonna use no medpacks, and in the Escape with the Iris, we'll see just how many medpacks I'll be forced to use. It's gonna get even worse on New Game Plus difficulty, but later about that. Anyway guys, back to the good news, the achievements plan. Yep, this is how straightforward it is. During our first playthrough on normal difficulty, we are essentially gonna unlock all 48 achievements, missing one for the New Game Plus playthrough. Once you unlock this achievement, if you're playing on PlayStation 4, you are also gonna get your hands on a lovely Platinum. Unfortunately, no such luck on PlayStation 5 due to the limitations and changing policies of how achievements can be structured for game bundles. That's essentially the official explanation we've gotten. Nevertheless guys, we are gonna do this Let's Play series with my commentary, keeping you company through every single level, discussing strategies, that sort of thing. And then for New Game Plus, I plan to make a no commentary, silent, long play video tackling the whole game from the very beginning till the very end, showing you the highest possible number of kills, pickups, secrets and everything. And it's gonna be quite different from normal difficulty. Now, talking about normal difficulty achievements, there are really two overarching achievements we need to keep in mind, outside of achievements just tied to specific levels, and one is Hold Order, essentially asking us to collect every single pickup in the game. Now, this one is interesting because it actually cannot be unlocked in New Game Plus. You can only do this on normal difficulty, and that's because unlike all previous New Game Plus difficulties before Tomb Raider 5, this New Game Plus has less pickups. It's a bit odd, but that's the case. So at least I have never tested this, to be fully transparent with you, but you're not even gonna achieve the number of pickups shown in the in-game stat screen. They don't update the number of total pickups for New Game Plus, just like they didn't bother in Tomb Raider 4 Remastered New Game Plus. But just know that the Hold Order requires you, if I remember correctly, 239 pickups, that's not the number you can get in New Game Plus. So we only can unlock this on normal difficulty. And the other overarching achievement, it's overarching, but it only involves 3 levels. The first level, the second level, and one of the later levels. And that is not to get bitten by any of the rat swarms. Rat swarms are a new danger here. They're not really an enemy you could kill, you just have to outrun them and then just wait and wait and wait and wait until they disperse. It's a bit scary because it's difficult on normal difficulty to actually notice if they've bitten you or not unless you're paying very close attention to the health bar, and that can cause a little anxiety of, oh shoot, what if we messed up and we don't even know about it. It is actually much easier to unlock on New Game Plus difficulty, where these rat swarms are poisonous, so you're not gonna miss them biting you, but later about that. So anyhow guys, just wanted to really share this achievement plan, but let's not postpone any further, let's dive right into the main menu where I'm gonna sort of guide you through the settings I decided to use for this run. Okay, here we are guys in the Chronicles main menu again, just like in the previous game. Let me do something about the music volume just for now, that we want to spend some time in the menu. Now for those of you who have already seen my Tomb Raider 4 Let's Play series, you know I went into great detail explaining every single setting and option and new feature added post major patch 1 into the game. So if you are new to here and you want to check what every single thing that you can tweak does, please check out my video. I'm going to provide a link in the description below with the exact timestamp where I'm going to sort of guide you through the main menu. But here, when we're tackling Chronicles, I'm assuming most of you guys are either familiar with these from your own playthrough or from my previous series. I'm just going to go very quickly through these to explain what I'm working with here, just for full transparency. Always like to share my settings and control scheme with you guys, okay? So, first of all, let's open up the options menu. There we go. Nice one, Lara. So what you'll see is the default options screen here. Action indicators. As a veteran, I want to have them off, so not to have an extra thing cluttering our interface. I don't need them. I know where everything is, but if it is your first playthrough in a while or your first playthrough overall, these are a great addition to the games. Boss health bars. This is where I'm making a compromise of actually cluttering the interface to see the kind of feedback we need to know how much damage we are dealing to boss. Especially valuable in the second and third level with some really tough as nails bosses in terms of the amount of health they have. So this is a great addition. Again, I was hoping back when we started Tomb Raider 4 that this would be implemented for all enemies that we're currently sort of looking at and locked on. Unfortunately, that feature seems like it will never come to any of the remastered trilogies. Invert horizontally or invert vertically. This actually seems to only affect analog sticks, not using directional keys when controlling Lara or using the look feature. So on PC, using keyboard and tank controls, this doesn't matter at all. This might be useful to you if you're using controllers, as is the vibration, incredibly satisfying, and tweaking dead zone for fine aiming. Especially, like I said, you can do headshots in this game, so that's going to be more important than ever, along with tweaking sensitivity. And finally, quick save is a feature I like to use when I'm playing with a controller, so on PS4 and PS5, but something I don't like to use when playing with keyboards, so using the good old games or Steam version, where the playthrough today will be captured on, and actually throughout the entire series you'll see me unlocking Steam achievements. This will essentially turn one of your save slots into dedicated quick save counter. I like to keep my number of saves to the minimum. I don't like to see the number increase, and turning this off is a tool towards that. But overall guys, if you don't care about that, just enable it. It's quite a convenient thing. And finally, an ammo counter, making its appearance from the PlayStation 1 version to the PC version. I don't want to play without this. I want to know how much ammo we have without having to open inventory every single time. It's doubly useful for when you'll be switching to different ammunition types as well, okay? Now, what I also want to show you is, oh wow, the graphics. Now there's all this action going on. So even in the main menu, you can toggle original and the modern graphics, which is pretty cool. If you turn on the original, look, this is like playing The Last Revelation. You can also turn off the retro filter, which will give you pixelation, looking more like PlayStation 1 version. If you turn it on, it will give you smooth textures, which is more akin to the original PC version, okay? And you can also toggle the FPS to be 30 FPS. I never want to go back to 30, honestly. If anything is less than 60 FPS, I suffer. I'm very sensitive about that sort of thing. Oh, nice. Von Croy's doing the excavation. I mean, this is where Lara died at the end of Last Revelation, and He's busting his buttocks off for those of his laborers to actually dig her out. That's really nice. I love how much story this menu communicates to us. Anyway, it still keeps going. It's a great main menu. So, now that we have these, you also have a pickup highlight. This is a similar tool like the action indicator, but it only affects the goodies on the ground. You enable this, they will be much brighter even in dark corners, which I think kind of removes... Ouch! The purpose of flares. So I like to have this off, but again can be useful for your first time playthrough. Cool thing is, you can tweak the brightness just like you could in Last Revelation. It kind of hurts my eyes like this, but in Tomb Raider 4 the default setting was very dark. I never had that problem with Tomb Raider 5, so rather than using +3 as a default, I'm gonna go to the actual default for Chronicles. I think it should be fine. And this health bar, instant or smooth, they're actually talking about Lara's own health bar. This is an addition of Major Patch 2 that was not there when we started Tomb Raider 4, so I want to talk about it. You can see your health bar taking damage a couple of times. It will either show instantaneously, your health bar is immediately going to drop, or you can smooth it out so it will gradually decrease for a more nice visual effect. Honestly guys, I don't see the point of this, because what it does is it actually ends up misleading you, thinking you have more health than you actually have, because the smooth setting is actually quite slow. So I find it even dangerous and not worthwhile having this on, and prefer instant. If I'm gonna take damage, I wouldn't know immediately how much damage I took. So that's it for the graphics settings, okay? Now, one other thing, the audio, you could already see it briefly. I'm gonna raise the music volume to 7 when we start playing outside of the main menu. SFX I'm gonna keep at maximum. The English language is the default I'm gonna be using. I wanna see if they added any new languages since we looked at Tomb Raider 4. Okay, Polish is here. I want to see Slovak, pretty please. Nah. It doesn't have the same selection of languages that 1 to 3 Remastered had, still even after 2 major patches. This is so disappointing. And of course I'm going to enable the subtitles for those of you who are sort of not hearing all that well what's being spoken, especially in these older video games. That's always tricky. Subtitles are an excellent addition. Now, we have control settings remaining. First of all, if we open it, we can go directly to shortcuts, and I want to start with this. So you can see something familiar, but overall less weapons. So photo mode F3, toggling the graphics F1, small and large med pack. Again, I would love to switch these around for it to be first small, then large medpack, but it's first large, then small medpack, which I find incredibly odd. Quick save, quick load, F5, F9, quite some distance apart, which I think is very good. In the OG it was F5, F6, so you could do a lot of damage to your own playthrough. Then pistols and HK gun are 1, shotgun and grappling gun 2, Uzis 3, revolver / Desert Eagle, making a comeback from TR3, 4. Again, I talked about this before, I wish we could swap Uzis and the revolver / Desert Eagle setting around, as it was in Tomb Raider 1, 2, 3 Remastered. You know, Uzis were number 4, but here they are 3, and confuses the living hell out of me. They are being faithful to the original version of Tomb Raider 4 and 5, but give us the option to, you know, swap these. That still hasn't happened. The only shortcut you can actually customize is using flare, which I have assigned C, but you cannot do it via this menu. You have to go to change controls, and here you can assign whatever you want to using flare. Secondary feature is only used for modern controls, we don't care about that here. I'm going to be using the good old tank controls. Then ducking is X, dashing is Z, giving my own unique keyboard layout. This is right next to one another, the Shift, Z, X and C keys. All movement modifiers plus flares, and I talked about this in my Tomb Raider 4 video. Again, I have the link in the description if you want to sort of consult that and customize your own settings accordingly, whether using a keyboard or a controller. So we'll be looking with numpad 0, rolling with numpad 1. I need to make sure these are all close to my pinky finger when playing with the D-pad on the side, drawing weapon with spacebar, action control, jump alt, walk is shift, another movement modifier on the side there, and then we have the D-pad for moving around. I am not gonna restore the defaults. Nor do I recommend you do that after customizing your controls. And finally, outside of the change controls and shortcut screen, you can of course change to the modern or tank control scheme overall, which has huge implications for the entire game. By all accounts, speedrunners really prefer the modern control scheme. Me not so much, even for speedrunning. There's something so comfortable about not having to use a mouse or a controller and just using that D-pad. For me, it's written in my DNA. And the combat mode, whether using tank or modern, you can decide whether you want to toggle or hold. It's more comfortable to just toggle. Unless you're using modern control scheme and a controller, then I think it's more comfortable to hold. But you can customize this further, more options are always good. Dash and tag mode. For sprinting, I recommend holding, so the moment you let go, Lara's stamina bar will start increasing. You can do shenanigans with this. Toggling it is awkward, incredibly awkward for me. And tag mode is the only one where I recommend doing toggle, but of course, if you have the hold on, it means Lara will automatically lift herself up whenever she exits a crawl space, which is not the case with toggle, so pros and cons, I guess. And slide to run is a new feature to 4 and 5 remastered. Whenever you end up sliding, there's no recovery animation, you can transition into run, and even if you're using the tank control scheme for a few seconds, you are momentarily controlling Lara as if it's a modern control scheme. It's a bit of an odd phenomenon, which can actually cause accidents, but I think it's a lot of fun. And gives me hope that one day we'll be able to toggle tank and modern control scheme with hotkeys whilst we're playing, not having to navigate to the menus, but it's just a nitpick. So anywho guys, I want to be fully transparent about all the settings I'm using. You can check the credits, you can even make them roll faster. We're again, like previously, gonna do that once we wrap up. There are no unique art renders when you finish Tomb Raider 5 Chronicles, like there were for the first trilogy where I did custom credits, nothing like that. So the remasters in this particular case are faithful to the original like they were with Tomb Raider 4. Furthermore, you can load save files. As you can see, we have nothing, but one thing I'm happy about, since this is a much shorter game with 13 levels, I'm happy to say you have enough save slots to have a save backup for every single level on both normal and New Game Plus difficulty, so I'm going to be making use of those, and you can exit. One other thing I want to show you is, of course, if you go to the right, you will end up in the last Revelations. The same settings for audio, graphics, controls carry over in between the games, even to an extent in Angel of Darkness, which I find infinitely impressive. But if you scroll one bit further, a new addition that we haven't seen when we started Tomb Raider 4 is this possibility to link the game to your Society of Raiders account. So this screen, when you see it, it means success. It means you can now in-game use golden pistols, okay? It's a bit immersion breaking to suddenly have them covered in gold, but it's a nice little Easter egg. Whether it's worth it to link your account or even create it in the first place, I leave that up to you. I'm thinking of using the golden pistols for some pistol-related achievements and nothing more, just to have a bit of fun, okay? So you want to see this screen to enable it in-game, but I'm gonna show you once we actually start the new game. Anywho guys, so that was me describing the main menu. It took longer than I planned, like always. Nevertheless, I'm gonna raise the volume again, and I'm gonna start the new game, and let's enjoy the story for what it is.
In world news, a private memorial service was today held for renowned archaeologist Lara Croft.
'Tis a sad day, Winston.
She will live on forever in our hearts.
Surely, Winston. And for this is but a memorial service. There may yet be news from Von Croy in Egypt.
Indeed, we can only hope and pray that she may yet return to us. But I fear Von Croy, digging in the hopes of discovering her alive, may only be met with black reality.
Indeed, indeed.
Today.
To the study, gentlemen, where we may pontificate over the day's disheartening events.
Indeed, my friend. Even the heavens cry out.
Ah, the Philosopher's Stone. One of Lara's early conquests, and one of her most challenging pursuits, if my memory serves me.
and Rome still bears the scars of that little episode.
Ah, she was never one for diplomacy, Lara. But she certainly knew how to paint the town red.
Well, god darn, ain't she just a picture?
Ah, the charming Mr. Larson. Has Pierre let you off the leash? Talking of which, where is our learned friend?
Oh, he's around. You got the cash?
I've got the cash, but I don't deal with the monkey.
Well, now that ain't polite for a lady. Even if the monkey has the Mercury Stone.
Lucky I'm in a generous mood. Ah, crawled out from under your rock, I see.
No need for unpleasantries, Miss Croft. I'm afraid I must, once again, relieve you of your burden.
Easy come, easy go.
Till the fat lady sings. Fucking Bronco, baby! We ain't gonna make that gap, boss.
We'll make it.
Ain't gonna.
We'll make it.
What did I tell you?
Mon Dieu!
So here we are in the first level of the game, guys. So one of the things I like to do at the beginning of each video, since we don't really have an overview of the stats for the specific level, is to essentially tell you what number of different goodies and stuff to expect. So in the first level, Streets of Rome, we are going to get our hands on 33 pickups. We are going to land 5 out of 6 kills. There is a 6th unkillable enemy who always runs away when we deal a certain amount of damage. I'm gonna spoil the surprise right now, that is Larson, who you can have seen in the FMV cutscene. Therefore we are only gonna land 5 kills, we are gonna find these levels all 3 secrets, and we are gonna break 6 breakable objects, a custom stat I'm gonna be keeping a track of in place of the breakable vessels from Tomb Raider 4, and I'm gonna be putting it onto the stats screen at the beginning and end of each video. Okay, so I think it's going to be useful at the end of each video to show you what the stats you're aiming for are, to ensure you don't miss anything and knowing that move on to the next level, as like I said, with the introduction to Tomb Raider 4 you only have in-game stats for the entire game, not for a specific level, and I cannot begin to tell you how much I dislike this system. I want to come back to the previous trilogies, just show me what the level contains, but alas. Now, there is a bit of a compromise with the secrets indicator on the bottom left corner of the screen. This is where the compass used to be for Tomb Raider 4. Here you are gonna see sort of the hanging golden rows. The good thing is when you pick them up, they will not clutter your inventory space over here, which is good because it already takes forever to scroll through it, but we're never really gonna face such problem as we did in the previous game because there are gonna be less items overall. So that's pretty good. What we are starting out with is the pistols with infinite ammo. We have the binoculars, which work exactly the same way as in the previous game. We start out with 3 flares, not even the full package of flares, again, as is the tradition in all Tomb Raiders since Tomb Raider 2. And we have 3 small med packs, 1 large med pack, and a little thing called the Mercury Stone. And this is the thing that always confused me as a kid, because I knew this is supposed to be about Philosopher's Stone. I was like, oh, so there's the stone in the opera setting where she encounters Pierre and Larson. So once Lara gets it, why the adventure continues, and I confused the Philosopher's Stone with the Mercury Stone over here. It doesn't help that in the FMV cutscene they look exactly the bloody same. What Mercury Stone is just half of a key to a door that requires 4 keys to enter into a part of the Colosseum in Rome, which has the Philosopher's Stone. So this is like 1/8 of a key, or half of one of the 4 keys to even get to it. It will make sense later on, but it's a pretty confusing setup in my humble opinion. Now, talking about the FMVs, it's kind of highlighted that this takes place as one of Lara's earliest adventures, so this is even before the events of Tomb Raider 1, and I think the year when this takes place is 1989, so pretty significant year for my country, that's for sure. But to sort of give us the idea that this is indeed following from the FMV we've just seen, in the Remastered, they added Lara's opera dress over here. She left her shoe there, her gloves, the dress itself, probably put the rest of the stuff into her backpack and somehow changed on the go, and the chase is on, so to speak, but there are no traces of the car that crashed into the grate. As a kid I assumed this is the grate. Where's the car? Where's Pierre and Larson? Well, it's probably a couple of streets further ahead. Also, I was never really clear on the time of the day. Is this early morning? Is it late evening? This is in fact evening, which makes sense given that operas are always played in the evenings, and I think Pierre is even going to confirm it in an in-game cutscene later on, okay? Now, one other thing I want to show you guys, in case you're new here or also returning, there is in this sort of in-game option, summed up by Lara Sunglasses, the outfit selector, which is more elaborate than back when we started Tomb Raider 4. First of all, you can absolutely change into all sorts of outfits. This is the, you know what, I'm gonna show you in here. This is the outfit that you normally have. This is the outfit that's more akin to FMVs from Tomb Raider 4 Last Revelation. I used this one extensively for the entire run through the New Game Plus long play video. Then this is young Lara with a backpack. That's the only difference between these two. Then camouflage, which we're gonna see here in Tomb Raider Chronicles. The only vehicle-like thing that is gonna be in this game, later about the suit. Then catsuit as shown in the FMVs with the belt buckle and these odd sunglasses, or a remake of the catsuit as shown in game. Oh, I don't get to show it to you here. Oh, that's a bummer. In the OG graphics, but yeah, this is what it looks like in-game, and this is more akin to the FMVs. Then, an X-ray, which they turned this little effect into its own separate outfit, which I think is pretty cool. I cannot show you the outfits in the OG graphics. And then we have classic Tomb Raider 1, then training from Lara's home, then bloody Tomb Raider 1 when T-Rex kills her, then Tomb Raider 2 variety, Tomb Raider 2 Lara's home, then we have the wetsuit, my favorite bomber jacket, the bathrobe, the Nightmare in Vegas outfit, and we're moving on to the Tomb Raider 3 outfits. So, sort of combining all of these is a really cool thing, and again, we're getting to the terrible catsuit from Tomb Raider 3, just the short gloves are ruining it for me. It is much better in the New York levels here in Chronicles. Then my favorite Antarctica outfit, and we're back to the classic. This classic is classic for Tomb Raider 4 and 5, as per the OG in-game model, okay? One other thing you can do in the outfit selector is to have the classic braid on. It's on by default, and I actually quite like it. Without it, we turn into this braid, which is more akin to the FMVs from The Last Revelation, but that's one of Lara's final adventures. This is one of her first ones, so I think it makes sense to do a change like this, more akin to the classic braid. This is pretty cool. It was not available before the first major patch, I think, or even the second one. Then we can give Lara sunglasses, and despite this not being New Game Plus run, I'm absolutely doing it. This is the only chapter of the game where sunglasses even remotely make sense, so I want to use them here. And then golden pistols. This is what I talked about in the main menu. Feature available upon linking the game to Society of Raiders. So once you enable golden pistols and you go here, there they are. They have a bit of a visual flair to them, although they disappeared now. Let's see. Yep, even in the photo mode they are going to be gold, although we are in a dark spot. This doesn't really work in the OG graphics, but what works is the sunglasses, so that's pretty cool. And like I said, this is a bit odd, so unlike Lara, I don't think she would ever carry golden pistols, but okay. I am, however, gonna enable them for good luck for some achievements. I can think of one at least where I want to do that. Okay, guys? So, anyhow, enough talking. I'm also not gonna go through any of the moves previously. If you want a refresher on all of Lara's moves, check out my Lara's home videos for Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3. I'm gonna talk only about what's new to Tomb Raider 5 Chronicles. Furthermore, one thing I haven't talked about, achievements. There are 5 we are gonna unlock today, and we're also gonna make progress for Tale Innocence. because there is gonna be a red swarm we want to avoid. But let's start with the first achievement, a dress rehearsal. Finish the opera backstage. There's the opera backstage, a completely optional tutorial level area if you need a refresher. Oh, one thing, I need to fix the outfit to the classic one. This one I recommend even if you're a veteran, because it has a couple of goodies that we need for Horde Order. Then I'm gonna talk about the remaining achievements later on, okay?
To climb onto this crate, stand next to the crate, push forward, and then action.
Exactly, and we can always do as Lara says. Interestingly enough, this forklift truck works exactly like a solid crate, okay? I find that really interesting. It was the case also in the original. One thing I want to show you is that we are moving into the opera backstage, no trace of Larsen or Pierre whatsoever, and you can just admire it from the bottom floor. If you ever mess something up and fall down, you kind of, using these interconnected tunnels, get to explore it and come back to the point where you need it to. Sometimes you need to take these, sometimes it's okay to just climb up to the area where you were. The forklift from that side is a dynamic object. Interesting. And over on the right over there is the exit, which should unlock the dress rehearsal achievement.
To leap this short distance, walk to the edge, now press forward and jump together.
And if you hold the walk, you know, Lara's gonna do sort of a swan dive somersault.
Now let's try a longer leap. Walk to the edge, then tap back once. Now press forward and jump together.
That's it, just teaching us the absolute basics, the running jumps, that sort of thing, nothing new here. But I want to be on the lookout for all these goodies over here. And I'm especially going to be relieved when we pick up that box of flares, because 3 is nothing to write home about. And you know what, let's automatically use one over here, because it's a dark point over there with a large med pack. All these will be replaced via ammo on New Game Plus, and similar to Tomb Raider 2's New Game Plus, you need to be finding secrets to get medpacks. You can skip ahead and already go through that area, but I want to sort of guide you through all of Lara's spoken lines in here. So that's the gist.
And now for the big jump. Walk to the edge, then tap back once. Now press forward and jump together. When in mid-air, hold action to grab onto the ledge.
And pressing forward with the walkie, of course, gives us our first handstand of the game. Couldn't resist. Okay, excellent. And I think there's going to be a very brief side flip tutorial. It's an odd selection of tutorials.
To perform a sideways somersault, press left and jump.
Yep.
To monkey swing, jump straight up at the bars and press and hold action. Then push forward.
Now this should be a familiar area. Again, I covered all the monkey swing controls in my Tomb Raider 3 Lara's home video, the different moves you can pull off there, like even side shimmying. And this is gonna be about the corners. And cutting corners is a new feature added to Tomb Raider 4 that was actually never explicitly described by either Von Croy or Lara. They tried to fix that here.
For me to climb this wall, stand next to it and press forward and action together. Keep hold of action and push up to climb the wall. To climb around corners, just keep pushing in the desired direction.
Just like this. You can already let go of action when the animation starts.
For me to crawl, hold down crouch and now push forward.
Before we do that, guys, I want to show you something I had no bloody idea existed since the times of Tomb Raider 2. It is absolutely useless, but I have to show you. You know how if you're on solid surface and you try to grab a ladder, you hold forward in action, Lara's gonna jump to save you some time? Amazing! If you're in shallow water, Lara tends to grab it slowly. Well, what if I was to tell you there is a way to grab ladders very slowly, even from solid surface? You need to hold the walk, and then action, and then forward. And Lara's gonna grab the ladder like this. Is this useful in any situation? Nope, none whatsoever. But my mind has just blown up when I found out there is a move since Tomb Raider 2 that I didn't know about. Tomb Raider 2 introduced the ladders, yeah. So there you go, guys. Here's a worthless move I just taught you in case you didn't know about it. I didn't. And of course, Lara doesn't tell you about doing somersaults when crawling. That was not in the original Tomb Raider 5, but what was in the original Tomb Raider 5, introduced a little too late in my opinion, is exiting crawl spaces forward. In Tomb Raider 3 and 4, you always had to turn 180 degrees, which was
To use
annoying.
the lever switch, stand next to the switch and press action.
Or if you hold action, Lara's gonna keep using the switch over and over. Okay, now this looks like a large, expensive area, but don't worry, it's completely devoid of anything. You can get a sneak peek preview of the next room that we are trying to reach with a tightrope we will be walking upon, which is a new move to Tomb Raider 5. Not a particularly fun or engaging one, but there you have it. Okay. And now, in order to reach... I might even use binoculars.
To swim, jump into the water. Use jump to swim forward.
Okay, we'll do Lara. Yeah, we want to go there. For that, we actually need to swim in this reservoir, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense at first sight. Anywho, let's light up a flare. And Lara explained pretty much the very basics. She didn't tell you how you can move on water's surface or anything like that, how you can do underwater rolls, grab and throw flares. These are all the things I've taught you in my Lara's Home videos. To be fair, I'm gonna give them leeway, this is the 5th game in the series after all. Anywho, not considered a secret, only picking up a golden rose will give us the secret chime, but it's a secret place with goodies that we don't want to miss for the Horde Order, so there we go. I wanted to show you. And yes, revolver and shotgun are back. More on that later. Shotgun normal ammo is the good ammo that doesn't spread, it actually hits your target. Wide shot is the worthless one. When it comes to revolver, a lot of you might actually end up being disappointed when using it, because revolver is not the powerhouse it was in Tomb Raider 4. That place is taken by a Desert Eagle in, I think, 2 levels of the entire game.
Climb out, swim to the edge and press action.
Okay, Lara. And now we are where we wanted to be.
To walk the tightrope, walk up to the rope and press action. Push forward. If you unbalance, push in the opposite direction to correct.
Indeed. And guys, the cool thing is that you don't have to hold action the entire time you're on the tightrope. You just need to press it. Like Lara said, she didn't say press and hold, just press. But you do need to keep holding forward for her to move forward. There is also another thing you can do, but first of all, the counterbalancing. Occasionally, and this is completely random, it can happen like here, almost at every single step if you're unlucky, or it doesn't have to happen almost at all. What I want to show you is that when you enter tightropes, and you cannot do them when facing backwards, Lara's just gonna do this new move they put into Remastered, taken from Angel of Darkness. What you can do when entering the tightrope is you can actually hold forward, and Lara's gonna do 180-degree turn, which I think is really interesting. And let's see what happens when she falls. Oh, she recovers like this. Fair enough. This is actually one of the achievements on the Retro Achievements PS1 version of the game, which I find funny. It's the final one I unlocked, took me forever to figure out how to do. But yeah, it's kind of a speedrunner's bane, because you never ever really know how long Lara's gonna go without losing her balance. And it's not you doing anything wrong if that happens, it's just completely a roll of the dice. Anywho, shelving, new interactable object. If you have the action indicators, you'll see it. If a shelving, and I think there's only one in the entire game, that contains multiple items, 2, you don't need to search it multiple times. I have tested every single shelving space multiple times to be absolutely sure of this statement. There are never more items if you search it more than once. So just check each once, or you don't have to. I'm going to tell you which ones have something, which ones are empty, unless of course I make a mistake, but hopefully not. The one on the right was empty, so I don't want to waste your precious time with that. This is a pushable object underneath revolver ammo. Oh, and by the way, something I haven't really talked about, the general design principle of Tomb Raider 5 Chronicles, as actually per the name of the game, it's Chronicles, it's Lara's sort of disjointed adventures. This reflects in the way you should manage your supplies, because once we finish the Rome chapter and move on to the next one, our inventory is going to reset. Then when we move on to the 3rd chapter, our inventory is going to reset. And when we move on to the final 4th chapter, our inventory is going to reset. So there's no hoarding or saving supplies in between chapters. Furthermore, I think in the 2nd chapter, in between the 1st and 2nd level, your inventory is going to reset. So there are in fact 4 inventory resets in this game, which is why hoarding supplies is not really gonna benefit you. Use them if you have them. And in this shelving, we have found a golden rose, which is not really part of our inventory, but in the bottom left corner as I talked about, which is good. That means less scrolling in this inventory. And every single level is gonna have 3 secrets, except for 2 levels, which are gonna have 1 secret and 2 secrets. It almost feels like it was supposed to be 1 level and was split in the second chapter of the game. But usually expect 3, you can always check in the inventory. So there we go, Uzi ammo, revolver ammo, shotgun ammo, but we still have our pistols. Oh, I actually really like this. This is a nice bit of foreshadowing. The mouth of truth. We're gonna interact with these even for an achievement. But anyhow, if I'm not mistaken, there should be one more pickup. The funny thing about this whole tightrope section is, if you really don't like it, you don't have to engage with it at all. It's just a practice area, but you can just use these crates to reach the other side, which I think is actually pretty cool. Now, I'll be honest, guys, I think this one is empty and this one has a med pack. Let me put that to the test. Should have a small med pack according to my notes. Ah, excellent, brilliant. Okie dokie, and that's all the goodies in the training area. Outside of the dress rehearsal achievement, this is the reason why you should do it, even if you're familiar with the control scheme. So it's not entirely optional, so to speak. And there we go. This unlocks upon you, triggering this switch as the final obstacle in this backstage. So Lara wasted a lot of time, not in a rush, to get the Mercury Stone in place, outrunning Pierre and Larson. That just shows us what she thinks about them. Now guys, in order for us to proceed, we'll need to raise this block, okay? But we'll do that via triggering a switch there, which is part of What a Horrid Idea achievement, which is part of 2 mechanisms. That's the second, we need to find the first. Get your guns out, and what I'd recommend doing is getting on top of this fountain. This is gonna keep you safe from these Doberman dogs, whom we... Oh wow, this is nice. Haven't seen since Venice. Actually, you'll see a lot of Venetian callbacks in the Rome levels, which makes sense, of course. I think I would like to roll this somewhat. And I don't want the dog to completely overshadow Lara, but let's give Lara pistols. I hate that they disappear each time we open this up. There we go. And in the OGs too. Excellent. Okay, and my friends, we just made progress for the Bug Square achievement. We need to defeat 5 of these little monsters near the fountain. My recommendation from top of the fountain. First of all, outside of the achievements, we need a key to enter here. If you don't have the corresponding key item, just like in previous entries,
No.
That's what Lara's gonna say in Jonelle Elliott's voice this time. Then that gate will serve as a way back, which is gonna be important for finishing the Bug Square achievement. But for now, you can, if you're really struggling for flares, climb up here from the fountain early and pick them up, but I prefer to get them on our way down. For now, I would like to unlock What a Horrid Idea. So we have, if I'm not mistaken, 16 seconds or less to do this. So let's grab it and immediately hold backwards, make a mid-air roll, and I recommend starting sprinting as we turn this corner. Excellent. And now let's turn this normally, we can restart our sprint. And now just let go, do not do any fancy slides, that takes seconds, and there we go, not all that difficult. And now guys, just like the swarms of locusts in Cairo and onwards, wait this out whilst being crouched. This is how you minimize damage from the bats. Just a different sound effect and visual, but it's pretty much, for all intents and purposes, the swarms of locusts. You can interact with this again, but it doesn't really do anything, okay? I'm not actually sure if you can retry the achievement. I would guess so, but for that you need to let the gate close and restart it all over again. You cannot succeed with the worst time, you just need to fail altogether. By the way, interesting bit of detailing, this used to be Piazza di something else. They turned it into Piazza della Opera in the remaster to again get across the point that we are close to the opera where the cutscene took place. And what a classic cutscene it was. Okay guys, so this is such a neat place. Look at this, just 2 sofas, a jar, and you can hear the fountain from outside. It's so peaceful. And no, there are no goodies hidden here or anything like that, and no, you cannot break that. Trust me, I tried. Oh, something I haven't talked about. The pistol sounds. They changed them again. They were different in Tomb Raider 1, Tomb Raider 2. Then they had the most punch in Tomb Raider 3. The same sound carried over to Tomb Raider 4. But between Tomb Raider 4 and 5, they gave them even crunchier pistol sound, and the one in this game is my favorite. Anywho, break stuff. Again, Venice callbacks. We find some ammo over here. We are overlooking this inner courtyard. We are gonna descend there more like normal people, but causing vandalism on the way. Okay, small medpack. The window over here I'm gonna leave alone for now to mark a point where I'm gonna continue later. And now guys, for something rather risky, I recommend saving here, but I'm gonna try and do without. We need to get to that lever, open the gate out, and get to the fountain, because the moment we turn the corner there's gonna be another dog and we need to kill all of them for the Bark Square achievement. Okay, I hear footsteps. That was pretty good, Miss Croft, but now we're gonna get it. Oh, that took longer than I thought. Lara, please. Let's backflip now, I guess. Forward. Oh no. Okay, sprint, sprint, sprint. They're equally as fast as when we're sprinting, which means if we're not sprinting, they're gonna get us. Look at the damage we've taken from this bastard. There we go. And this is only the second dog. Let me immediately show you the third one for the Bark Fountain. Oh, sorry, Bark Square. This is where action indicators help. You can actually open this door. Not the one on the side, this specific one. Let's immediately run, run, run. And sprint. Cutting corners helps put some distance between us and them. That was actually very well done, Miss Croft. And let's give it to them. Oh, the fountain also can shield them from your pistol shots, so be very careful. Okay, now we don't need to be on top of the fountain to make progress for the Bark Square achievement. I just like to use it as a safe space, okay? So anywho guys, let's see what the two dogs were guarding. A large medpack, but remember, I promise not to use them until escape with the iris level. So, there's that. And wide shot shotgun shells. So this was an optional area for the achievement progress and pickups. I'll be honest guys, I'm not happy to see wide shots back. Just give us the normal ammo guys. What's the point of these things? Anywho, there we go. And we need to jump across the street here. This is really interesting because you can actually take a shortcut. If you climb this roof over here from the fountain, you can make a very tricky jump, much easier to do in modern controls, and jump here. If your control of Lara in midair is perfect. It's something speedrunners use, which I think is really interesting. Let's first go to the left. We're gonna get a unique camera angle, but I think I'm gonna light a flare here for you, because we left the brightness on default for the atmosphere. There we go. A key. Let's just read up on it. Golden key 1. That is so lazy. You could have called it the atrium key, the garden key, you know, something, not golden key 1. And you'll see this kind of nomenclature throughout the game, which is a bummer. Oh yeah, we already jumped the gap here. Let's now get on the roof via going here. And this is actually interesting. We get a sweeping shot of the Bark Square again. And another victim for the achievement, the penultimate one. And this tries to show you what you can use the golden key for, okay? So, let's get down. Pick up the flares. Ooh, right on spot. Excellent, Miss Croft. And now to get to the fountain without taking any falling damage, just to be sure. Oh, you know what? We shouldn't take any anyway. Excellent. Okay, one more dog missing for Bark Square, which is good. For now, I want to use the key over here. Excellent. And my friends, I need to warn you. We are gonna encounter the 6th unkillable enemy. It's Larson, who is gonna appear here with the same exact in-game model as in Tomb Raider 1 and start shooting at us. Your best bet, do not even waste time trying to injure him. Sprint, 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 dive. Excellent. Now, whilst we're here, Larson is gonna, well, not entirely stay where he is, but he's not gonna come down to chase us or anything. For now, let's pick up what looks like David's star, but it's just called Garden Key. More on that later. We actually need 2. But, as it pertains to Larson, the moment we get up here, he's gonna instantly teleport on the other side of the atrium, and this bastard is just gonna chip away your health like there's no tomorrow. I have a strategy to reduce the damage we'll take, but we are never ever taking him out. Not yet in this level. And that is to, in fact, now that he's up there, take it via the lower path and shoot. It doesn't take much damage to scare him off. But this guarantees Lara has the best possible accuracy and we get rid of him sooner. Furthermore, very easy to miss since we are distracted by Larson not once but twice, a small medbag over here. But what isn't good is our health. We are already down half of our health. And the worst dog is yet to come. We'll see how that turns out. Anywho guys, this is the sort of tightrope action that you cannot avoid. So let's see how many times Lara will stumble and fall. And something I guess I haven't explicitly said, but I considered it common sense. Whenever Lara starts falling, you need to compensate in the opposite direction. Do not help her fall. Unless you want her to fall, of course. I was hoping we could do it with just a single stumble. Oh well. Excellent. That's essentially it. And now the cool thing about this is, and always when you're unsure, do these safer drops. These reduce the falling damage even more than hanging from the ledge. We now have access back to the Bark Square, which is how we're gonna finish the achievement once we summon the final dog, okay? Excellent. Let's explore the alleys on the side over here. First of all, you can already get this a little bit early, some more revolver shots. Each package essentially gives you 6 of them. So you can now check we have 24. This, my friends, behind this, there's a medpack and a secret on the shelvings and the final dog for the Bark Square. The way this opens is actually pretty sneaky and I don't like this design. You need to backtrack after triggering a completely unrelated mechanism. Yeah, that's not a great secret design. Anywho, let's pick up this beautiful revolver, which should give us another 6 shots, leading to 30. Excellent. But like I said, guys, this thing isn't as powerful as in Tomb Raider 4, which is pretty damn confusing. It's much weaker, but still better than pistols, okay? For now, let's open the double door over here. This is gonna have the second garden key we need, and also a very familiar upgrade to our revolver. There it is, a laser sight. And just like in Tomb Raider 4, when you pick up multiple of these, they're just gonna merge into the one laser sight. But you never really carry more than one weapon that can accommodate laser sight, so in Tomb Raider 5 it doesn't matter. It's not as annoying as having to switch it between revolver and crossbow a game earlier. And there we go. Revolver plus laser sight. You are supposed to use this to break the padlock over there. Or if you want to save ammo at all costs, you can start crouching and shooting your guns. It works really easy. For now, guys, I would recommend saving here. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna be a smug bastard, because the moment we step on the tile with the other garden key, we're gonna summon a swarm of rats. So let's just touch the tile. Wait, what? Okay, maybe we need to go a little bit closer. Yeah, there we go. Ah! And now, they're chasing us. I'm gonna take a picture of them, but first I want to get into safe distance. They should never be able to reach this spot. Let me show those sneaky bastards to you. So as part of the Tail Innocence achievement, yeah, I cannot see them at all. Maybe they're passing through the barrels. We're gonna get a better shot. The swarm of rats will follow you relentlessly, and they take much longer time than a swarm of bats or locusts before they disperse. The good thing is, they cannot get through walls. They have to follow you on the ground. They can also follow you through water surface, but not through deep water. Let's keep that in mind for the next level. For now, just listening to that sound is gonna tell us when they're gone. See, they're still going, guys. It takes, I think, a full minute before they disperse, which is a long wait by all accounts. Anywho, if you try to instead jump over the railing and continue on that way, the rats can follow you. It happened to me a couple of times before I realized they cannot really cut the corner too well and enter the steps up there. So there it is, our second garden key. Excellent. Now let's jump over the railing. Oh, actually, something I want to show you, and I might as well use binocs for that. Keep in mind the hole over there and over there above the street level. We'll be jumping through it later on in the level, which is pretty cool, I think. Anywho, the second secret gate is still not open. I call it second secret, but you can also pick the order of the second and third secret, however you want. We want to get behind this gate, and that's why we need the 2 garden keys for. But there are no receptacles on the sides of that gate. Instead, they are next to the gate. They will not open. It is, by all means, a little bit odd. But there they are. Now, I don't know why they use Jewish David stars for this. Maybe this was part of some Jewish district or something like that. I've never actually been to Rome, so I cannot comment. I've seen a Jewish district in Venice, actually. It had very tall walls, uncharacteristic of the Venetian architecture itself, which makes sense because they had to be guarded all the time. Okay. From, let's say, less receptive people to their presence. And now we get a very ominous music playing. Before I approach the temple, though, I just want to show you this, and that's the tile over here. This will actually be opened from a tunnel from the other side in the following level, but not right now, okay? Just wanted to show that to you. We'll be climbing out of this pool towards the end of Trajan's Markets level. For now, let's approach the door and trigger a cutscene, and I like to do it with the walk key.
Rodents, I wouldn't wonder. Big rodents.
What?
Idiot! Idiot! What does the cowboy hope to achieve with this mindless firing?
Ain't mindless. Ain't we trying to kill her anymore then?
You were kicked in the head by a horse, so the brain doesn't work correctly?
How'd you know about that?
Never mind, never mind. We wait until she collects the other pieces. In this fashion, we have the full price at no extra effort.
You is one clever cookie, boss.
Comparatively, yes. Come, let's get off this roof, and I will buy you a milkshake.
It's all about the milkshake, guys. I love Pierre and Larsen in these cutscenes. Now, to be fair, they are really leaning heavily into stereotypical writing, whether it comes to American, French, or Russian characters, but it is funny. Anyway, guys, if you've been observant during the cutscene, you'll notice we no longer have the Mercury stone, and that's because Lara finally combined it with the Mercury symbol over in this receptacle. We just need to find Mars, Saturn, and Venus symbols. I think those are the ones, and just keep in mind those 3 ominous heads above the doors. I don't trust them, and neither should you. For now, guys, I think I'm gonna try and show you the area from which Larsen and Pierre were talking, because if you really want to pursue them, you're gonna be rewarded with a couple of goodies they left behind. And again, the camera showing us a hint system for what you're about to do. We're gonna get to the bell, I think, a bit later. Or are we gonna do it now? Decisions. Okay, first of all, let me try to explain what is the objective of the level. It's to get behind the door and get our hands on the symbol behind it, okay? That means when Lara puts it into the gate, or someone else will in the cutscene, we're gonna be halfway done trying to access the part of the Colosseum that has the Philosopher's Stone. Notice there's yet another laser sight, but if you pick it up, it does count as a pickup, but you are not gonna get another laser sight, but in Tomb Raider 5 Chronicles you don't need it. Furthermore, there is a very special pile of revolver bullets here. Should you ever run out of all revolver ammunition, this one is gonna be spawning endlessly to refill your ammunition because you need a revolver shot to complete the level. Furthermore, I have tested this. Look at our pickups count. We have 25 pickups. We're well on our way. This is the 26th. However, if you start shooting and deplete your revolver ammo, you'll see it reappearing on the floor and you'll pick it up again. Your pickups count is not gonna increase. So you cannot artificially increase your pickup count and unlock the hoarding order earlier. Okay, just wanted to make that clear. I have tested this, which I think is actually exactly how it should work, and I think it's pretty cool. For now, let's do what the game asks of us. Or you know what? No, I'm gonna do it from elsewhere. Let's for now do this and try to go at the rooftop where Pierre and Larsen were on. Discussing the accident with the horse and then settling on a milkshake, which I think is really sweet. Explains a lot about Larsen though. I really have to wonder what kind of role Pierre and Larsen will play in the Legacy of Atlantis. Looking forward. Okay guys, again, this is not a secret. But it is a secret area, you know, with pickups, not a golden rose. And by the way, I adore what they did with the skybox over here. It is pretty damn cool. Just to make us feel like we are in Rome. Okay, and now, something important. I think this is a good angle to shoot the bell from. Surprisingly, despite the sound we just heard, it doesn't open the door to the temple. It opens the door to the side with the mechanism that opens the door to the temple. However, it has a different effect. It just opened up the second secret I was showing you earlier, okay? And I think that's where I'm gonna save. Furthermore, we need to think about the achievement called To the Envy of Venus. Yeah, even Venus is gonna be envious of Lara's butt when we show it off via a handstand from the top of this temple. You can either jump from this wall and land on top of it, which is gonna result in falling damage, or something I much prefer doing, although arguably it can be a bit more risky. Let's see how it will work out for me. Just sprint forward and use the forward momentum to land onto the roof without taking damage. That's my preferred method. And now, to the Envy of Venus, Lara. There we go. Do a handstand over the portal gate. This seems to be a more rare achievement. I guess people generally miss it. And now, again, whenever you're not sure if just normal safety drop is gonna be enough to avoid taking any falling damage whatsoever, do the forward somersault from a crawl. Apparently that was a good idea because we took damage. We would have taken more damage if we used the normal one. Of course, the best idea is to save, do the handstand and reload, but where's the fun in that? Okay, so, following what we unlocked using the bell, you know what? I'm gonna be a risky bastard. I could have just gone for the second secret, but instead I'm gonna do something really irresponsible, and I hope you'll forgive me for this. Crouch! You will take some mandatory damage here, and this is, again, just a dice roll. How good the bets will be in hitting Lara's hitbox. Okay, there is another Mouth of Truth. Don't worry, this one isn't time or anything like that. Okay, and we now opened the entrance into the temple. Keep in mind there's a wall over there and one over there. Can we pass through them using the camera mode? No, they are solid. They reveal a secret and a pickup. Now what you can do is take the slow way down, or what I like to do when I'm showing off about how much health I can preserve, do safer safety drop, take some falling damage, but you're right next to the second secret, okay? This is why I wanted to do it, but it's a better idea to do it after the Venus handstand and things like that, but come on. I'm probably gonna regret this now, but anyway, we must, under no circumstances, kill the dog that's waiting around the corner. Remember the bark square? We need to lure this bastard to the fountain, and forgive me guys, I'm actually gonna make our first level save here, because a lot can and will go wrong. Oh, that was perfect! He actually missed us. Oh, nice. But be ready to turn the corner here. Okay. But this was just dumb luck, honestly, guys. Try it as many times as you need to avoid taking too much damage. No, you're not running away. Oh my god. And Bark Square is ours. Defeat 5 dogs near the fountain. This is why I put such emphasis on opening the lever next to the grate over here, okay? So, just wanted to make that clear. Anywho, let's now check both shelves. I think the one on the side has the second secret rose, but the one opposite is not empty, it should have a med pack. Indeed, because there's nothing on the floor, strictly speaking. Now guys, something I want to tell you, collecting secrets was actually way more exciting in the original Tomb Raider 5 Chronicles, whether we're talking about the PC or PlayStation 1 version, because if you collect all secrets within a certain chapter of the game, so for example the Rome chapter of the game, you are gonna unlock some special features and art in a gallery that unlocks in the main menu. But this didn't make the cut for the remasters, which is completely unforgivable for me. Why would they not include such a neat feature? In fact, I think Sega Dreamcast version of The Last Revelation also had an unlockable gallery that didn't make it to the remaster. Why? What a waste. Anyhow, what I'm gonna do is, at the end of each chapter, I'm gonna show you the unlockable gallery both from PlayStation 1 and PC angle, just to know what we're missing in the remasters. Anyhow, entering the temple, we hear a very mischievous music, and there are 2 crows, and a battering ram, and a dome. Nothing about this temple structure makes any sense whatsoever, but my god, is it a pretty sight. So anywho, what I would like to do... I just realized I haven't taken a... Oh yeah, we have taken a picture of Larson, not of Pierre. But I think I would like to take a picture of these ravens. I just want the background to be white so they stand out more. You know what, Lara looking there and the 2 ravens, sure, why not? I'm gonna do something similar with the doves. For now, I think we want to go to the left side and pull a lever that's gonna unlock the right side. It also has the very unfortunate consequence of summoning a swarm of bats. But for now, look at this. The raven gets turned into a lovely dove. How cool is that? Completely different shape. They looked excellent in the OG as well. Okay, and this now, passing through these tiles after triggering that mechanism, will summon, I think, the final swarm of bats. Okay, so far so good. Oh no, we went to the flashing health bar stage. Ah, that's never good. Poor Lara is in pain now, because I decided to take the street level shortcut. Okay, now we need to turn this one, so we can progress. It's the way she turns them via 90 degrees facing away, which I don't really get why. Anyway, this also now triggers the battering ram, which is also tied to an achievement, not ram us. Okay, which is going to be the final achievement of this level, 5th one, so it's a pretty achievement generous level. And now guys, what you're supposed to do, obviously, this is a perfect example of corner shimmying. You're supposed to hang here and then corner shimmy safely all the way there. But because of the achievement, we can't really do that. So instead, what I recommend doing is just take it slow and sidestep gradually over to the end of the ledge. Always align, Lara. You can also have an easier time if you're using crouch, maybe crawling forward, but I don't want to risk it since it feels like forever since we saved. And now, let's go to crouch and touch this, and the achievement should pop. No? Okay, that's odd. So let me maybe do it like this. But I would hate to get out. Oh my god, now how do I get out? You know what? Let me figure this out once we activate the mechanism. Hopefully that will not disable it. I want to get on the floor and I want to do this again. This is how it worked for me on PlayStation 5. Although to be honest, it's notoriously bugged. Let me try this again. This now turns the crow into a dove. Excellent, and I am taking picture of these beauties when we get down. We are gonna take some small, insignificant falling damage, doing it like this. And I think the doves are now gonna be facing away from one another, so before we turn it... No, Lara, please step here. Look up. I'm gonna start the photo mode again. I would just really like to do this. To give you the impression of what they looked like in the OGs and the new graphics. Even the original models were excellent. But anyway, battering ram, I am not done with you yet. There we go. We are so close to the end. You know what that means, guys? Something's gonna go wrong with me trying to unlock this achievement. So I guess I could now try my crouching method. You know what? Let's. Oh no. So guys, for some reason, not Rema's achievement didn't unlock, and my crouching method all of a sudden didn't work. Okay, I'm gonna have to be creative. I saved next to the bloody dog from the second secret, so I'm gonna work my way back here, and I'm gonna see you here in this spot. Okay guys, here we are back again. This time I did get bitten by the dog. But anywho, I remember this being the solution. I couldn't figure out what's wrong. I went back to PlayStation 5 where I unlocked it. I checked the trophies footage and I did the exact same thing and it unlocked. But I was not walking but running. So maybe that's the problem? My god, you have gotta be kidding me. So they have a problem with walking and you need to be running? Is that really it? My goodness gracious. Well, now that we are here, we need to reactivate the mechanism anyway, right? And turn the raven into the other dove. But yeah, this one is finicky and I remember really struggling with it back when almost a year ago I did my sort of first impressions video on the 456 Remastered, where I tried on PS4 to unlock a couple of first achievements. And yeah, this is odd. It's the same principle. We were hanging just from that ledge, didn't use any other ledge, but it's just not enough if you walk. It's like the achievement has a hidden timer or some such nonsense, but in such case I wish they would update the description. So anyway, run, hugging the left ledge, and you should be fine, and roll into grab. Talking about grabbing, let's not do that, let's instead do safety draw. And now, we're gonna turn the other dove. We already took a lovely screenshot of both of them. Just remember guys, this one unlocks the third secret, not just the final pickup. So, it's very tempting to go and finish the level, especially with a flashing health bar. But no, we wanna go back to here. This other mouth of truth. Let's make sure not to fall and mess up things here. Grabbing secures your way to victory, and suddenly these walls have disappeared. I wish there was some hint, or they would be a bit more suspicious. They blended in perfectly, they were solid, but there you have it. There, the third and final secret. We should have, I think, 32 pickups. Always hold action when making these jumps. Maybe it's not necessary on the way back because of the dynamic door, but just to be on the safer side. And I actually recommend making a save before you pick this up, because you can then return anywhere else in the level to scoop it up. But I'm gonna be a cocky bastard. I'm actually, you know what, no, first gonna pick it up. This is the Saturn symbol. We inserted Mercury stone into Mercury symbol. This is an entire Saturn symbol, and the remaining two symbols we're gonna find in the next level, and they're all gonna be complete. Just the Mercury was a bit different. Nevertheless, guys, I wanna save the game here, show you the stats. Oh, thank God. We are at 33 pickups, 5 out of 6 enemies. Remember, I consider Larson to be the unkillable 6th enemy. And we have found 3 secrets. We have also broken 6 breakable objects. That's something I'm gonna be keeping a track of. The windows or the padlock, that sort of thing. There is a great variety in Tomb Raider 5 Chronicles. We have also unlocked all 5 achievements despite us encountering our first death in the first level. How embarrassing is that? Because of not Rema's achievement. But hopefully guys, with the timestamps in the description below, you're gonna be able to find help for the achievement that you're looking for in your own run. Nevertheless guys, the level is not yet over. There is another lovely cutscene with Pierre and Larson, after which I'm gonna say thanks to my absolutely amazing patrons who have been nothing but patient with me before I started this Let's Play series.
Calm, Lara. We're all friends here.
Begging your pardon, ma'am, but if you'd like to put them pea shooters away.
Now, the second stone, if you please, Miss Croft.
Come get it.
It's a little too late in the evening for these games. Larson, search her, if you please.
Well, god darn if I don't get all the best jobs.
You want to try the back pockets?
listen! Enough! Enough! My patience is exhausted with this childish nonsense! The stone, Miss Croft!
If you put this into that gate, Pierre, you're going to get a lot more than you bargained for. Trust me.
I'll put it in then.
That would be one of the stupidest moves you've made. And that's saying something I think you'll appreciate.
A nice try as always, Miss Croft.
Wait for it. Don't say I didn't warn you.
What is it? What have we done?
In your usual flamboyant style, you have set in motion the next gate phase.
Next gate phase?
If my memory serves me, the gate has realigned itself. And if it does not receive 2 stones in the next few moments... If I was you, I'd grab your Cro-Magnon cowboy over there and run as fast as your little legs can carry you. Au revoir, mon cher.
Whilst the next gate phase is in motion, whatever ominous sounding thing Lara means by that, I still need to say thanks to my absolutely amazing and patient patrons. Blangupel, Mick, Severin Drax, Enstickle, Katie Danger, Poo2, Basic Branny, Bino, and Alex Clark. Thank you guys so much for being my loyal Winstons and for getting us free opera tickets for tonight's performance. Next, I would like to say big thanks to my caretaker Winstons, Michael McConkie, Caravetu, Renegade Ernie, Blanket Fox, Jonathan Jones, Dig DeBee, and BD92. Thank you guys so much for your support of the channel and also being the caretakers that you are, buying both Larson and Pierre a much needed milkshake after the humiliation they suffered today. I would also like to give special thanks to my brave veteran Winstons, Andrea Paviglianetti, Alexander, and Richard Dearman. Thank you guys so much for your valiant support of the channel and also for calling in the pizza delivery guy. Poor confused fella over here. Not only did he offer us some delicious pepperoni, but more importantly, he offered Lara a getaway bike to escape from her pursuers. And finally, I would like to give one very, very special thanks to my one and only fine vintage Winston, Akira Foxmind. Thank you so much for your long and extremely generous support of the channel. Couldn't do it without you. And also thank you for chiseling out Lara's memorial ice statue. It is called January now, as the videos are being released and as the story takes place with her friends reminiscing during her memorial service, and my hope is that by the time it gets warmer and your ice statue thaws out, we might get some good news about Lara. And on a final note, I'd like to say thanks to my free Patreon members as well as to each and every one of you for making it to the end of a rather long video for a rather short level. And the reason is simple: each time I launch a new Let's Play series, I like to discuss the plan up ahead, what to expect, and I also like to take into consideration that a lot of you joining in might have never seen any of my previous work, meaning I like to explain, at least briefly, what the remastered package for the Tomb Raiders offers, because it's quite interesting and the situation changes in between the Let's Play series due to major patches. Nevertheless guys, I hope you're all up to date, and also I want to address the big elephant in the room. Why was I quiet for most of the January, which was quite unlike me to be honest? The reason is my other Let's Play series, video for which will come out next week, the very first one that will launch it. It's unlike Tomb Raiders, which is playing levels linearly. This one is more of a non-linear open world RPG, and that's why taking notes for it was an absolutely massive undertaking. But I have a plan that I'm gonna follow through, and I hope the results will be worth it, and I hope to see you guys also checking it out, even those of you who are here mostly for Tomb Raider. Okay, so thank you so much. I hope the fruits of my hard work will pay off and you will see why the wait was so long, and I hope to see you next time either in Trajan's Markets or to welcome you to also check out my other Let's Play series. Until then, I wish all of you happy raiding.